Okay, hello everyone. Welcome one, welcome all to the second week of the Not So Casual Pokemon League. Although technically this is, at the time of recording, still the first week, as I have been challenged to RFN, in other words, right fucking now, by my opponent Superkernel. So I'm quickly recording my preps game. I have prepped my team already, so I accepted this challenge. So just gonna quickly go over the team and my plan for this matchup. So as you can see here, my team's still the same right here. A lot of cool flexibility in these mid tiers. We've got these kind of high tier offensive defensive threats and some nice low tiers, and then Superkernel on his side has a really interesting team where it's got these like really bulky kind of mid tiers here, and then this like super late game setup threat with Blaziken, and then Blastoise, who kind of does a little bit of both. It can like do like a Shell Smash sweeper set or be a sort of rapid spin mid game clicker. And then Kilowattrel is actually a little scary for me because my ground type Donphan has pretty low special defense, and it has a second stab with flying moves. And also importantly, Kilowattrel does something kind of cool here. I didn't notice during the team analysis, but in hindsight is very cool. He's got a lot of hazards with Ting-Lu, a ghost type with Pecharunt, and then Kilowattrel has the ability competitive, which means that if you click Defog, it gets a really big stat boost. So I do need to mind the hazard game a lot, because if Ting-Lu gets a bunch of hazards, it can be really awkward for me to remove in the face of Kilowattrel Pecharunt. Now I'll keep Colonel's team up on the right here so you can see it. Just move this over, and then we're going to go over what I've built. So I have Darkrai as usual. It's just a really good Pokemon, really fast, really strong. I went with Choice Scarf this week. This speed outspeeds 80 base speed plus 2, doubled, which is what covers Blaziken, and then Blastoise is slightly slower than that, so it also covers Shell Smash Blastoise. So if Blaziken gets 2 turns, we're still faster. If Blastoise gets a Shell Smash, we're still faster. So Darkrai is just a revenge killer, mostly for those two. That's Psychic for Blaziken, Thunderbolt for Blastoise, Dark Pulse for big neutral stab damage, and then I was deciding on the last move, debating between Sludge Bomb for Meganium versus the Focus Blast for Ting-Lu and Goodra, and decided on Focus Blast. For Mega Dragalge, I mostly want it to answer Meganium. So I put a little bit into special defense, gave it a plus special defense nature. It can take Earth Power decently well. Earth Power does less than half, so unless it gets the special defense drop, I can always come in, threaten Sludge Bomb, and then switch out after. Should be fine. And this mostly exists to answer Mega Meganium. It also is pretty good versus Pecharunt, though, because obviously Poison type can't be poisoned. High special defense doesn't really fear Shadow Ball, and we have Shadow Ball of our own to threaten Pecharunt. So it's pretty good against both of those. I gave it some defense so that it lives something like, for instance, Blaziken Earthquake. Not if it's got a boost in Life Orb, but if he's trying to do that like cheeky crit Blaziken set that a few people have been running, it's good against that. It can live if Mega Meganium tries to say, okay, I don't want to target Dragalge's giant special defense. We're going to do Earthquake to hit physical. We can take that. So that's, and also if it in a pinch has to answer Blastoise. I don't believe Blastoise gets Ice Spinner. I might get Earthquake though, so +2 Earthquake might still be too much. But at like +0, that defense helps. So yeah, Dragalge is mostly there for Mega Meganium, but it's also good against Pecharunt and Kilowattrel. Zapdos is very good against Kilowattrel, and again, Kilowattrel can have Volt Absorb, but if it does, then it's much easier for me to do removal, so I'm kind of fine if that's the case. And if Kilowattrel doesn't have Volt Absorb, the only electric immunity is Ting-Lu, who really hates Toxic, so Zapdos is here to kind of just pivot around, click Toxic, and just generally be a defensive nuisance. Tauros is pretty good offensively here. The main reason I have it is because it does about like 80% to Blaziken with Expert Belt Aqua Jet, so it's a really good like finisher in case Blaziken's causing problems, and since Blaziken's usually Life Orb, that Jet plus like 2 or 3 depending on rolls, Life Orb self-hits should be enough to clean up and not lose to that. Silvally is my remover of choice. I was debating between it and Donphan. Donphan does have a better move into Mega Meganium with Gunk Shot, but Silvally is actually faster than Mega Meganium, which is huge. And it still has Poison Fang, which is still 200 base power when you take into account the quad effective. And the other nice thing about Poison Fang is that it has a 50% chance to inflict Toxic, which is really nice against Ting-Lu. So if Ting-Lu's coming in, we can nail it with Toxic. And then Parting Shot, Defog are just for pivoting around. This can also eat up Blastoise's White Herb, so if it's like White Herb Shell Smash, we click Parting Shot, the White Herb is eaten, then Shell Smash actually reduces its special defense, we go into Darkrai, click T-Bolt, and can kill it. And then defog, it's my defogger. Also, just multi-attack ground is really good against this team. Weak to ground, neutral, but weak to ground, weak to poison, which we have. Weak to ground. It does about like 50 to uninvested Blastoise, and Kill Watchel's immune, but it's fine. And then Metagross is really good against the Rat, Cinccino, which I don't think is coming, but it's good to have just in case. And then also Cosmic Power, Body Press, Psychic Noise, if I can get it rolling, is really good against this team. Obviously, big if, there's Mega Meganium's really powerful Weather Ball. We can't really beat that, so that's what I have Dragalge for. Yeah, it's kind of an iffy set. I don't feel amazing about it, but it is decent. I might switch it out to like, I don't know, something else. But it's also my rocker, so I don't know. I'm still thinking about the Metagross set. I might make last minute changes. Like, I might switch it to like Body Press, Meteor Mash, or something. But I do think the set has the potential to do really well. Cosmic Power lets it beat Petrarunt if we're in that situation. So, yeah. Might see a slight change to the Metagross set, but otherwise this is what I'm rocking. See you when the game starts.